So I want to give some practical next steps for you. Get a pen and paper. How many of you learned something today? How many of you inspired to use storytelling in your business? Oh, good. This is my job. Right? So Roberto, where do I use it? What's the next steps? So here you go. Number one, do you have a company creation story? For example, do you have a company creation story? A story that you put on your website? A story that you use if you're recruiting new employees? You're talking about recruiting truckers. Do we have a company creation story that you tell? Maybe a recruiting video to get them emotional. Why am I gonna work for you than work for the competition? Why do I do what I do? Now, your company might be your father created. That could be a company creation story. But then, let's say you're running the business out. Every time you speak, like, why do you do what you do story? Right? If I work for a big bank, a small bank, but they have a company creation story in the bank, but then why I work for that bank? Why do you do what you do? Because in America, is it fair to say that pretty much you can do anything legally as far as career, guys? Yes or no? Yes. Because we have a lot of choices. Some easier than others. But specifically, why do you do? Because people want to feel connected. They want to feel your authenticity. So that you gotta have a story about that. Company values. I would recommend for your top 3 values at least of your company values to attach a story to it. Sometimes more than one story. Okay? Custom avatar for sales and marketing. Now, what I learned is that we all have customers, and our customers are different. They're different. Is that correct? For example, in my business, I have someone who's afraid to do a talk. That's one avatar. I have someone who done 1,000 talks. I have someone who never done a talk but have life experiences. They want to create a coaching group. They want to create a keynote. They want to create a product, right? So I have different client and customer avatars, right? So for every avatar, for sales and marketing, you want to have at least one story. Now, I read a book. I wish I remember where I got from, but that makes sense to me. That every business solves between 8 and 10 problems. And I started figuring out, that's kind of true. I started writing down all the problems I solve. It's between 8 and 10.
Per hour?
Problem?
Per hour?
No, from our clients. That's good. That's a good one. No, from our client's perspective, right? From our client's perspective. What are the big problems that you solve? Right? So then I realized, well, if 80% of my clients, 80% come and they have these problems, does it make sense for me to have a story per problem already? Yes or no? It's that simple. So you just write it down. One thing you do, okay, what problems I solve? I solve this problem, this problem, this problem, and these problems here are 80% of the people that I talk to. Okay, good. So then next step is, I'm gonna find a story per problem. That's what we call custom avatar for sales and marketing. Does that make, am I clear, guys? Yes? Yes. Then we have leadership topics. Vision, change, taking action, being your best. Then you have training. Like for example, if you wanna train your team, I know some of you have big teams, and you wanna train a procedure on how to be specific, how-to processes. My recommendation is to have a story for every each process you have. Because when people go in the field, they're gonna remember the story more than remember the how-to, I promise you. Right? So attached to it, a story, when you have you training someone, that's a good start. And then customer service, the same idea. So if you want to quote unquote storyfy your company, if you buy into the idea that storytelling is good, and if you want to storyfy your company, storyfy your business, storyfy your communication, this is a good start.
I'll just give you an example of the results I got. After my very first time working with Roberto, I had 80 people in my dinner and 78 appointments. It just blew things through the roof. It was a game changer in my life. So here, watch this. Instead of doing 4 dinners to get the results that I'm now getting in 1 dinner. So I'm more efficient, I have a lot more free time with my family, and I'm very more impactful in a shorter amount of time.
It's going to make me spend the hundreds of thousands of dollars of return. This information is applicable to any business, whether it's chiropractic, or whether it's mortgages or real estate, attorneys. And once you learn the system and the process that he teaches you, you can apply it to any single thing. But one of the biggest things that I have found that separates businesses In terms of the uniqueness, it's your ability for the customer or the client to understand what you do. Roberto teaches you the most amazing process ever. It's predictable, it's consistent, and it's truly going to change my practice and my life.
I came here because I've never given a public speech in my whole life. I don't know anything about public speaking, and I was scared out of my mind. But I know that if you want to make an impact, you got to speak to people. So I came here, I got up on the first day, did an exercise impromptu, scared out of my mind. My hand was literally shaking at the end. Day 3, just gave a 15-minute talk, longest talk of my whole life, and killed it. These guys will give you confidence. They will give you the tools to create a talk in hours.
Went to the most amazing training seminar this weekend called Influencing from the Front by Roberto Monaco. I did my first patient orientation class of the week today and was able to generate 8 referral leads already just from utilizing one of those many tools.
I have been to dozens and dozens of seminars on how to influence, how to communicate, but by far was the most incredible seminar I've ever been to. I've learned more in this 3 days of going through this than I have in the past decade of going through this whole process. I'm so grateful I spent the money. It was the best experience I ever did. My level of communication has gone through the roof. Truly getting your clients to understand what you do, how you do it, and then to get them to buy into what you do.
And guess what makes you enjoy speaking better? When you speak, you get actually better results and you make more of an impact.
If you're interested in growing your practice by speaking and making a big impact on your community through speaking, this is a must-do seminar. Don't even think about it. Hit the button, register for it, and you will thank me later. Thank you, Roberto.
Check out Roberto Monaco, see what he's doing, and I'm telling you, it will change your career. It was literally one of the best decisions I made in my life.
So Roberto, thank you for helping me help other people and keep up the good work. Your teaching was incredible.
The return on investment is huge. Get here, Roberto and Jeff are the men.
So if you're out there and you're listening, can't recommend it enough. You just need to do it. It'll be the best investment you ever did. It's going to pay you back hundreds of thousands of dollars.